Oh boy, it's here. It's finally here. I'm so excited. There's the FedEx dude. That's my dog. Floki. Thank you, FedEx man. All right, Floki. All right. You've done your job. Hush. 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 That's enough. Can you see what I got?
Oh yeah, I got a big box, yes I do. I got a big box, how about you?
I got a big box, yes I do. I got a big box, how about you?
I think you don't know what you're saying.
I wonder what's inside.
Hey there YouTube, AJ here, and I am stoked. I'm super excited. A few weeks back, another YouTube channel, Between the Sharks. If you haven't watched that, you should check it out. Subscribe to Ryan, he's a good dude. Anyway, he put out a video on the SIMDER SD-4050PRO 10-in-1 welder, and I have to admit, he got it through a sponsorship deal. Good on him, but I was super jelly about it, man, because I've got a little space, and I thought, man, that would really help me out having a multi-purpose machine like that. And I've been using the same MIG welder for about 30 years, and it's, to be honest, it's long in the tooth, and it was 110 and never that great to begin with. I had recently bought a TIG machine and a plasma cutter, and which neither of those had I even used yet. I hadn't even learned how to use them yet. But I saw his review, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. I kept wanting one. Anyway, I was getting ready to pull the trigger on buying my own and using Ryan's code SHARKS and getting his discount on top of it. And sorry, Ryan, you didn't get my commission because I ended up reaching out to SIMDER, making a deal with them. No, I did not get my machine for free. I'm still a small YouTube channel, but I made an offer that would get me the SIMDER 4050PRO 2024 model 10-in-1 welding plasma cutting machine and their luxury package for a much better price than I would have got just the machine using Ryan's discount. I figured it couldn't hurt to ask, but I didn't really think they would accept it. But they accepted my offer. They sent me the welder and the luxury package. And I don't normally do box openings, but you know what? This is a special occasion for me. It's kind of like I'm semi-sponsored on my channel, even though I'm not even monetized yet. So it's a pretty cool deal. So let's get to it. Let's find out what's in the box.
What's in the box?
If you haven't heard what this machine is yet, it's a 10-in-1 welder and cutting machine. It does MIG, it does TIG, it does stick welding, it does plasma cutting. It has different features for pulse. You can weld aluminum, stainless steel, regular steel. It's just a multi-function machine that should be everything I need in my shop. I'm dying. I got this earlier this week, and I've been dying all week to open this up, but I haven't had time. I knew I wanted to record it, but man, I'm ready. Let's get to it. This box, I'm guessing, is just the welder itself and some of the main accessories. Oh, we got a box within a box. All right, let's get, oh boy. So this is all of our leads and our torches and our hoses and things to set it up. And then, ta-da! This is our welder itself. All right, so the main box is open, empty. Get it out of here. And here we have it. Okay. All right. This is one of those very satisfying moments. Nice clean screen, look at that. So right away I should note that this is a 220 machine, but it can run on 110 as well. just obviously the capacity is less. So there's got your 220 plug. Side panel open up. This is where your wire goes. Feeds in. Got our controls up front. Places for our ground and for our torch handles. Nothing on this side except for the beautiful SIMDER logo. And then back here we have exhaust fans or heat fans. And we have our hookups for our MIG gas and our TIG gas, and I believe our compressed air goes in this one as well for cutting with the plasma cutter. We got hose, which appears to be for the compressed air, I'm guessing, maybe gas, I don't know. We have a liner for our MIG gun. We have another hose for one of the gases. This looks like our torch for our plasma cutting torch, and the pieces for it. Ground clamp. We got a bunch of hose clamps, instruction books, and different size wheels for your welding wire. This looks like a stick electrode. Everything so far looks, nice quality. The cabinet, the fit and finish, all the torches. TIG torch. We have cups, some electrodes, the handle. I don't see a tungsten in there. No tungsten yet. And our MIG gun, MIG torch. Nice, I like it. Man, that thing is heavy duty. That's a lot heavier duty than my old one. Some kind of brush or cleaning tool of some sort. I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to be for. It's not really a slag brush. It's too lightweight for that. But we have our 110 to 220 adapter plug, which I guess that's nice. I don't need it here. I have 220 right over here on the wall, and I will run it on 220 most of the time. But I guess if I need to run an extension cord out in the yard or take it someplace else, 110 might be nice to have. So it's a nice option. It's good to have options. We have another box here. We have some hose bar fittings. Oh, I know what this is. This is a dryer and a regulator for the compressed air. That's what this is. Okay, so it comes with that even. That's cool. This should be the regulator gauge. Yep. So we got a regulator gauge, so you can regulate the compressed air going into the machine. So that's the main machine. That's what comes with the 4050. Now, as I said, I got the luxury package. So let's see what came in the luxury package. And I know what this should be. I believe this is the helmet, which I had a cheap helmet, and I honestly believe that's part of my welding problems I was having, was the fact that I just couldn't see what I was welding that well. So part of the reason why I wanted the luxury package was because it came with high quality welding helmet as well. So this helmet is auto darkening. Okay, gotta set that up, set up that even. All right. Can't say I'm thrilled with the graphic, but it is what it is. Got to remove a protective film out here, and it doesn't want to come. Come on. So we got our protective film off the outside, and you know what? They don't always tell you this. This one at least has a sticker on that says remove this protective film from the inside as well. I actually was welding with my last helmet for a while with that film on the inside. I didn't know it was there, and it made welding much more difficult. Okay, so now we got that one off. Oh yeah, I can see much better through this one already. That'll help. That's going to help a lot. So that's pretty cool. Looks like I do have to figure out how to set this up though. There's a little square boss with a tab on it that goes in the corresponding hole here. I will say this is the first welding helmet I've ever had to put together. I mean, maybe there's instructions I didn't look at, but you know, I guess it could have made my life easier by doing that, but I didn't. Kind of a pain, but really not that big of a deal. Alright, well, I'm already liking the field of vision better on this one. It's kind of stiff right now. That'll have to be broken in, I guess, but yeah. Graphics really aren't my style, but I'll throw some stickers on it and we'll rock it. More importantly, that it works and that this field of vision works and that I can see well and that it auto darkens well. So can't wait to try that out. I'm gonna lay this out in the sun so it can charge. Okay, I should have looked. The helmet did come with instructions, and it came with two spare, an inner and an outer cover lens protector thing. So came with that, but I didn't look at it. Let's see what's in the final box, the rest of the luxury package. We have a bag. That's pretty cool. Got a specific tool bag for welding supplies. All right. Where's the zipper at? Oh, it's got two zippers. It's got a shoulder strap. Pockets out here for stuff. And one big long pocket here. So welding rods, probably spools of wire, tools. Pretty cool. It's got internal pockets on the sides. So that's nice. I don't know if I'll use it, but it can't hurt to organize, just put all my welding stuff in one bag. That'll be, actually I will use it because it'll make finding my stuff easier. And I'll just, since I no longer have multiple machines on the same cart, I can just put this on one shelf on my cart and have all my stuff easily accessible. I will use it. Thank you, SIMDER. New pair of gloves, sweet. Ooh, heavy duty. Soft inside. All right. We have a consumable pack for MIG. We got more MIG tips in there and cups. Quite honestly, I have forgotten what all comes in the luxury package. Ooh. We got a big old spool of wire. It doesn't say, but I'm going to assume this is MIG wire. Oh no, this is aluminum alloy welding wire. Ah, that makes sense because there's something else in here that I do remember. We got more consumables for the TIG. And I'm gonna guess these are consumables for the plasma cutter. Nice. And nope, these are consumables for the plasma cutter. I don't know what these consumables are for at this point. Anyway, got a lot of consumables. Got another spool of wire. That's got a little 2-pound spool here. And let's see, what is this? This is flux core wire. Wire there. This is the other thing. We got a spool gun. So that's pretty cool. I have no idea how to use it, but I'm excited to try. Slight problem here. Our handle is in pieces, but I don't think it's a big deal. Looks like it just came unthreaded here. Looks like I can put it back together. Okay, goes in there. Okay, I see, okay. So no big deal. Okay. You just got this clip came out. You just put it back together. It'll be fine. This one goes under. Get all those little gizmos in there. Hook that up. No problem. Minor inconvenience. That collar just came loose and the handle popped apart, but no big deal. So anyway, we got a spool gun, and that'll be interesting to learn to use. And our last box. Oh yeah, I know what this is. And this is our foot pedal for the TIG gun. So, got our foot control as well. And it's got a speed, looks like a speed dial or output, some kind of output here. I'm guessing speed. I don't know. Now, this is my welding cart. I generally keep it over here, tucked in here in this corner, because my 220 and my dedicated 110 circuit are over here. So we can plug it in right back here. This plug is not the same as my plug. That's going to create a problem for me. Alright, so I got to figure out that part of it. I can always run it on 110 until then, so maybe we'll do that. But for now, we're just going to leave it like that. On my welding cart here, I've got my pure argon bottle for TIG. Down here, I got a smaller mixed argon bottle. We need to get this all set up on here. So honestly, I will probably be using it for MIG and the plasma cutter the most, but I will try to test everything. All right. So the first thing though, I'm going to test is probably going to be just flux core, because that's what I'm most used with. So let's see. Oh, that goes up here. All right. There's a cap on that. I probably should read the instructions, but you know, part of this is evaluating this is for like someone that hasn't welded before or isn't good at welding like me. And that's part of the reason I wanted this, was I'm hoping to become a better welder, and I think this machine can help me with my settings, because it does all the automatic settings and everything. And I think it can help me become a better welder by taking out some of the guesswork that I have. Round, twist. Okay. Now we have ground. Going to get our gases set up. Okay, well I got an adapter to go from my 4-prong plug to the 3-prong plug, so we're ready to go electrically now. I'm going to start setting everything up. Now I need to add the regulator for the cutting app, and that actually mounts back on this corner. So my tank here is in the way, so I got to flip these real quick, and then we can start. Okay, our little regulator here comes with this little pressure gauge, which screws in the front of it. A little bracket to, I assume it goes, no? Got to take this off. So this little bracket mounts up here, and then you got to take this ring off and put it up in there. So that's fine. Then it also comes with some hose barb fittings to go in the sides. But I'm going to replace the end fitting with a quick release air fitting. That way I don't have to have air hooked up to it all the time. I'll just real quickly come over, hook up my connection, and we'll be ready to go. That puts my end fitting on the inside of the thing, which is kind of a pain. I guess we'll just deal with it if it becomes too much of a pain, like getting the hose on and off. I'll put in the hose barb fitting, and I'll build up a little whip that'll take it out to the other side. So we'll go ahead and just put this together real quick using Teflon tape to seal it. Okay, so we got our air regulator assembled with the gauge in it. There's a little notch in the front of the body here where you take off this ring, and there's a corresponding tab on the bracket that goes into that notch. Don't do like I did and put it on upside down the first time. I had to take the bracket off and flip it. Alright. The compressed air comes out of this side after you regulate it to the right pressure you want, and goes down into this barb fitting here. So we need to run a hose down to that. However, this is also where your TIG gas goes in. And I'm not a fan of like switching hoses back and forth, and especially you got to fiddle around with hose clamps and stuff. So what I did was get some extra fittings and valves. So I've got these little air valves, a T, and some fittings to put them all together. My plan is to make a little manifold and bring in my TIG gas and my air to that manifold, and I'll be able to shut off one or the other, and then I won't have to keep switching the hose. I'll actually bring this hose and this hose into this manifold I'm going to make, and then come out of the manifold and go to this barb here, and that way all I got to do is shut off the valve to the one I don't want, open the valve to the one I want, and I don't have to keep switching my hose here. Well, the good news is I got my little manifold made, and I got hose clamps to tighten these together. Now the SIMDER welder did come with these hose clamps. Okay, regulator to our manifold, and this piece was pre-cut to this length, so I'm just going to use it for this. And then they gave me another longer piece that will connect. We'll use this to connect to the end and the tank down here. The problem with all that is I need more hose barbs, because I don't have any more hose barbs to go in the ends of these. So I need to adapt my TIG tank to a hose barb fitting, and I need to get 2 more hose barb fittings to go into my manifold in order for this all to work correctly. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not planning on doing any plasma cutting or TIG welding today, because my TIG tank is empty, so I got to get that refilled. So for now, we're going to set this thing up as flux core after we get it put together, and we'll deal with getting the hose barb fitting, so when we're ready to do plasma cutting and TIG welding, we'll have it set up for that. So now I'm going to mount this manifold. I'm trying to decide where I want to do it. Anyway, for now, to mount this manifold, we're going to do the quick and dirty way. And I'm just going to drill a couple holes and get some zip ties. We got our manifold officially mounted the redneck way. And it's not perfect, but it's tight enough, and maybe I'll add a couple more zip ties after I get my barb fittings in. But you can see we'll have compressed air coming in here, coming out here. We will have TIG gas coming from here to here. And shoot, I did that wrong. We're going to take this off and put it in here. That's where that goes. So, good thing we talked through it, because I had that on wrong. Now we take our other hose, put it on this end, tighten that one down. Okay, so now once we get our barb fittings, we'll take this one to right there, cut it, and then put it to here, to down here once we get those fittings. And we won't have all this extra hose laying around. Now they did give us a second proper hose for the argon tank, and your argon goes in over here, so we can go ahead and get that one connected up. And these fittings shouldn't need Teflon tape. Oh man, I got this totally wrong. Doesn't matter. Okay, This isn't MIG gas, so it's not this bottle. Doesn't matter, my manifold will still work, except for I connect the other side of my manifold to my argon bottle. So from here to up here. That's not a problem. This manifold goes for the MIG gas, which this is the MIG gas. And when you tighten down fittings like this, you should always hold the one you don't want moving with another wrench. And I still need to get an adapter fitting here because I don't have the right fitting. It's annoying. Here. Again, doesn't matter because right now we're going to go ahead and set it up now for flux core wire welding. Since we're not prepared for the rest, and we got some things I need to wire weld anyway, and flux core is what I am most comfortable using. So hopefully we can get that set up and I can learn to start using this machine for flux core welding. Let's open up here. Alright, so they send along a spool of flux core wire, size 0.8 millimeter. I have no idea what that is in American. Oh, it's nice and vacuum sealed, so that's kind of handy if you ever get welding wire that's been sitting for a while. It's occasionally already rusted. 0.035. It has American numbers on the inside. Cool. And I say that jokingly. We should have learned to use the metric system a long time ago. And actually I do use the metric system a lot in my real job, but not a lot for distances, not measuring small distances. I need to take off this. Now, put our spool on. Whoop. Washer. Tension spring. Washer. And lock it. I'm gonna have to tighten that down. Oh, look at that. That wheel. Trying to see what size guide wheel's already in it. 1.0, 0.8. This says 0.9. But it also said 0.8 on the box, if I remember correctly. 0.8 on the box. So I'm going to guess I used the 0.8 side. We're just going to roll with it. So in the front of the machine here, you have your ground clamp, and then you have this wire coming out up here. And you switch those back and forth depending on whether or not you need positive ground or negative. You want to reverse the polarity if you're going to be using no gas or gas. So I've got this going into the negative, my ground clamp to the positive. If I was going to be doing MIG, this is set up for flux core. So if I was going to be doing MIG with gas, I would take the ground, put it here, and then take this out of the machine and go into the positive. And the gun stays the same. So we're set up now, and these are really easy to switch, quarter turn fitting on the end of it. So you just give it a little twist to the left to pull it out. It's got this little notch on there. You might line it up with the notch in here, turn it to the right to lock it in, and you're ready to go. So it's a nice to be able to do it that way. My old welder, I actually had to take it apart and take terminal wires off and switch them. It was a real pain. So, which is why I kind of got stuck just using flux core and not really learning how to make weld with gas. So anyway, got it set up for flux core right now. We're all set up. We need to go ahead and start the wire. So I'm going to get a little bit of tension on this versus none. Just want enough to have a little bit of drag on there normally. So we're going to cut this wire free. Ah, that's what you don't want to do. Dang it. Alright, so your choices are just to cut it off and waste a bunch of wire, or try to rewind it.
I didn't have one of my discs front so.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I've got this coming over the top. I gotta take this off and have it come off the bottom so it's a straight shot into here. Darn it. Okay. Okay, so we got that flipped over. And we got our bird's nest straightened out. And so now we want to start feeding into the wheels here. And into that little end there. Clamp it down. Okay. Another thing I want to do before I get started here, since I'm using flux core, I don't like using flux core with these copper nozzles because the splatter can get them all gunked up, and they also hide the end of the tip so you can't really see what you're doing. So I like to use these plastic tips. It goes over. That keeps you from getting these all messed up with flux, splatter, and it also allows you to see the end of the torch better, and you can see where the wire comes out. It gives you better field of vision. So, okay, so we've got power to this thing. We're ready to run our wire into the torch. On my old welder, you had to have the ground connected in order for the trigger to set everything in motion here and, you know, drive the wire. I don't know if this is the same or not. I'd like to have a feed setting on here. We'll see. I don't know. Let's turn it on for the first time. Power switch is in the back, which is kind of weird. Gotta find it. Where'd it go? Ah, nope. Oh, there it is. So the power switch is back here, which is weird to me, but here we go. Hang on. I have the breaker off. I gotta turn the breaker on. So let's turn this back off. Go turn on the breaker. Now we should have power. So let's try it again. Fans kicked on. SIMDER splash screen. Shows your percentage of booting up. Alright. We are already set the flux. I'm just going to pull the trigger without anything and see if it starts driving the wheel. And it does not. Okay, so this doesn't do anything. Separate CO2 100%. Argon 100%. Mixed gas. Pulse MIG. HF TIG, I assume it's high frequency TIG. Plasma. And we're back to flux. So let's go ahead and hit select flux. And we comes up with these settings, 40. Oh, that's the feed rate. Inches per minute, it looks like. And this would be the amperage. Oh, now it'll drive the wheel. Alright, so we can. Okay, apparently we need more tension. Alright, now. Alright, see it's driving in, spinning, pulling it in. So now, if we could take and turn up the feed rate. That way we can load the gun up a little quicker. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's get ready to try some flux core welding. Okay, well, here goes nothing. We got some scraps. This is 18 gauge. I have no idea what my settings should be on this because my old machine had 1 through 4 and just a 1 through 10 speed control. I have no idea how to set this thing up in terms of amps and speed. So we're just going to go with the factory, what it's defaulted to, which was 40 and 12. And if we have to adjust, we'll try adjusting. But for now, we're going to see what we can do. Okay. Feels like it's way too slow. Okay, I think it needs to be a little hotter, a little, I mean, I'm welding, but it's mostly penetrated. It's not bad. Let's run it up to, well, I'm already welding as good as I was before, which wasn't great, but yeah, it's doing a pretty good job, and it's a lot cleaner than my other one. Let's try some. Still feel like it needs more heat. Yeah, let's see if we can actually like weld a bead. These gloves are pretty stiff, so I'm having trouble with my trigger finger and holding everything. That's too much because I'm blowing some holes through there. But overall, for a first go, oh, that's much better there. Let's this is working way better than my other welder. Obviously I need to practice, but I can keep a consistent arc going already much better than with my other one. Alright, let's try some nasty ass rebar. It's not even been cleaned up here. Well, not bad considering it's the rebar. I didn't even prep this at all. It was just butted it up together. Didn't V it or anything. Yeah, it seems to be welding really good. Just, I need more practice with it. I think with more practice, I can actually become a decent welder. And none of this metal, this is all just scrap. None of it's been prepped. Still not getting perfect penetration yet. It's most of the way through. Again, practice. I just need practice and getting used to setting my own settings, and maybe pull up a chart and see what kind of settings I should be using here. But I mean, in this very short time I've been using it, I've already shown improvement, and I'm really happy so far. So flux core so far, a lot better than my old machine. So we're good there. Let's start putting it to use on something I actually need to weld right now. Okay, what we have here is a project I've been working on where I am motorizing my bead roller with a windshield wiper motor. And I need to tack it into place before doing some final welding on it. So we're just going to go ahead and tack this right now. Okay, it should be tacked up. I'm gonna go ahead and take it apart and weld all this together. Huh, that's cool. It kept the last setting that I was using, so I like that. I don't have to reset it up. Let's start welding this thing fully together. Well, what's the verdict? You know, from what I've messed around with so far with the flux core settings only, I'm very happy. Am I a master welder yet? No. Am I laying down perfect beads that I will leave undressed for the world to see? No. Will I be showing off welds on here on YouTube? No, not yet. But as I was welding this pretty complex bracket tree together, my beads kept getting better and better, and I was getting more familiar. As I got more familiar with the equipment, I think I was laying better welds and better looking welds even. I've got one in here that actually, the last one I did, it's not too bad at all, really. In this corner here, it didn't turn out too bad, and that's with no dressing, so hey. So far, I am very happy. I sold my plasma cutter, my TIG welder, and my MIG welder, and got the SIMDER. If everything else welds and is as easy to use as this was, you know, just using the flux core setting, I think, I hate saying this, but I think I could actually kind of take my welding up a level at least, maybe a few, and get better. The 220, I don't know if it's the 220 machine because I was welding with a 110 before, or whatever. It definitely is easier to weld with than my old machine. So I gained a lot of space, lost a little money, you know, but didn't do too bad on the deal. And yeah, I think I'm gaining ability though, which is the big thing. So in the long run is what proves something like this. Does the other functions work as well? Will the machine last a long time? Will it not break down, etc., etc.? Only time will tell those things, but initial impressions using just flux core so far, I'm really happy, and it seems like a really nice machine. Everything seems well constructed. The switch in the rear is probably the worst thing. It's hard to get used to. I keep looking for the switch out here from the front. Adjusting the settings once you know what you're doing is real simple and easy. You can separate them, and you can run your heat higher, you can run your speed faster, or you can use the combined control. And as you run your heat up or run your speed up, it changes your heat amperage along the way with you. I'm kind of using that function now because I'm just not experienced enough at welding to pick my own settings, but I think I'm going to get there, and I think I'll do some research, the types of metal I'm welding, and what settings I need to be using for that. That said, I can't wait to do the plasma cutting and learn how to actually make better and learn to TIG for real. I've only played with TIG a couple of times, and learn all these other settings. It's got a lot of features. It is very feature rich. So far, it's not disappointing, and I think it's going to be a good machine. Only time will tell. I've got some projects that I need to do, and I've got one specifically for stick welding, and so I'll be doing a stick welding project and testing this, and yeah, as we go along, all the way to on my hot rod, I need to learn to do TIG to do body work. So I hope you'll follow along. Hit that subscribe button, helps the channel out a lot, doesn't cost you anything, and let's see if I actually become a decent welder and fabricator with this. I think it's going to be worth the money. I'm really happy so far. I know I've only just scratched the surface of its abilities, but yeah, just flux core alone, I can see a huge improvement already. It'll get better and better as I get used to the settings on this too. So come back and see how the machine and I grow together, and if it makes me a really good welder. Until then, YouTube, later.